Braylon still ain't ready.
You're talking like me and lying. Cool.
We good?
Yeah, let's try.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back. Your experts are back. Solid Networks. Experts Podcast. We back again with another NFL Sunday preview. Y'all know how the thing go. This is your boy Santo. I'm with my co-host, CJ the X Factor.
Yo, what's good?
And G. You don't really roll off the tongue pretty good, though.
That's it.
Yeah, this week 5. You gotta figure them out.
Yeah, we gotta take something else. We back another NFL Sunday preview episode. This episode once again sponsored by Rev Trio, home of the NFL Sunday Ticket, for all your NFL Sunday needs. Go to Rev Trio. Go to Rev Trio. Set up Rev Trio. They will get you straight. If you already have trio or triple play, then that's no additional cost. So call 601-8992 to get your NFL Sunday Ticket package. You won't regret it if you're a big football fan. You got all the games. Some games ain't on cable. You got to get Red Trio. You got to get that NFL Sunday Ticket. All right? So hit them up. Again, 601-8992. You won't regret it. So we back again, week 5 preview. Week 4 went all right for us. I mean, most of the games we predicted right. We got a few shockers last week. Mainly my Jets taking on Tennessee. But nonetheless, we ready for another one.
You say your Jets?
Taking down Tennessee.
Well, you could do it. So use a Jets now and not a Panther anymore.
I say my Jets, bro.
You could kill my Jets. You just go from one bad team to the next.
Right? So we got another good week ahead of us. We got some pretty good games this week. We got a good game Thursday. What y'all thought about that game Thursday?
That was a big game.
I mean, it was a good game in the second half. That first half was trash.
I mean, I kick out this now. Takeaways from that game: Aaron Donald becomes the all-time leading soccer, if you could say, pass rusher for the Rams.
Which was an high.
Right. He most likely could blow that record out the water by the time it's his career over, right?
That's a fact.
And then Russell Wilson going down, and they say he need to be down for a minimum of, at least what I read, a minimum of 6 weeks.
Yes.
They say you should be back in a month.
Yeah,
But that didn't even that's if he just rehab it without surgery. So
he already had the surgery.
He had surgery?
Yeah, I saw Sierra posted up on Instagram. Up on him.
So after the surgery, they saying for a month, 4 weeks.
Yeah, take him back. Take him about 4 weeks to get back in.
Yeah,
so easy.
PKR is a severely sprained finger. That's what
Pete Carroll. The Pete Carroll no more.
Right? But you got that's the nigga coach. Who you always listen to? That's the bad coach.
No man, I ain't listening to them. He done make a bad call.
No, but I listen to
fella's career. That's it.
Oh, come on. I listen to Pete Carroll before I listen to Russell. Russell is being optimistic right now. He just wants to get back on the field.
Honestly, I wouldn't listen to none of them.
So who report you can go by?
But whenever you're ready to come back, put some tape around that finger and slide in. What you could do? You think I can wait any 6 months and let Geno Smith come in here and break the all-time interception record? I ain't got time for that, bro. Whenever you ready, tape that up. Let's ride. If you need to put on a glove or something, put on a glove. Let's ride. They ain't like they got no number one backup.
How y'all think they will fare in his absence though? Because Geno Smith, like
just pure smoke.
I really know.
He ain't
a viable option.
No, he ain't
pure smoke.
If they got to go for more than 4 weeks,
their next game against the Steelers, the game after that against the Saints, the game after that against the Jaguars, and then they have a bye, and they better pray after that bye he could come back that next week. Because after that, it's Packers, Cardinals, 49ers, Rams, Bears. they must be playing for the lottery game. See, ain't nothing happening.
They got to survive the next 4 weeks, which is possible.
Which is probably why Russell even said 4 weeks. They probably made that assessment and said, "Well, if I can come back in 4 weeks."
Yeah, he know he have to come back in 4 weeks because after this 4 weeks, and hopefully they go like 2-2 or 3-1, which they probably won't. But if they could go 2-2 and hold it firm, then they could go. But if you see them lose 1-3 and then he come back again against the Packers, Rams, Bears, all these teams, they ain't into that. And that's a tough division they in this year because Kyler Murray ain't easing up. The Rams and obviously, but trust me, they get scrapped for a wild card spot at best this year.
The Rams?
No,
you mean the Seahawks?
Okay. Seahawks. If Russ don't come back in time, the wild card is probably at best. Because it could get really bad. Like I said, they got some winnable ones. If you talk about the Steelers and the Jaguars, that's some winnable games. So they got to try split, go 2-2, and then see what happens from there. But
the thing is too, let's not forget Chris Carson out as well.
Okay.
So I mean, the starting quarterback and the starting running back is out. So I mean,
to be honest, that boy who replaced Chris Carson looked better than him.
I
thought that was Marshawn Lynch in the back there.
He looked better than Chris Carson like all season for true.
Carson ain't enough hype, but I tell you, Pete Carroll is run that team like the government, boy. They just go by seniority and there. Carson ain't been good in like 2 seasons, bro. That young boy behind there suffering, but only because Carson is the older veteran and stuff like that. He getting these breaks.
I say the government.
Speaking of the Steelers as their next game, we got a 1:00 game today. There's y'all picks. Don't think people forget. Thank God we start recording this. We got the 1-3 Steelers versus the 3-1 Broncos.
What do you want us to do with that information?
I want y'all to pick because I know how y'all go, Mr. Ben Roethlisberger can get it together.
I never played this.
That Steelers defense. That Steelers defense. No, y'all say he can get it together enough because the defense can be so good that all he needs to do is maintain the turnovers and
so your point, he hasn't been able to do that. So your point, he hasn't been able to do that. We never say.
From that week 1, you all predict that was it. It was all down to that.
We never say the man can get it together. We say he has to.
TJ won't play?
He should be. He isn't listed on my injury report. The only people out for the Pittsburgh is their defensive tackle and cornerback. But on the other end, the Denver Broncos, they have Melvin Gordon is questionable, Cortland Sutton is questionable, Spencer is questionable, like Teddy Bridgewater is questionable with that concussion.
So
the end of the day, I don't think he can play. I wouldn't even put him in there. But
if it's any game for the Steelers to steal, it's this one.
It's this one, right? Teddy Bridgewater, he ain't gonna be there, so that offense ain't gonna really look good.
And Drew Lock is garbage.
And Drew Lock, last week and this time he really looked stink. And then the Steelers defense didn't really live up to that week 1 hype since week 1. So I think we probably cursed them by saying that defense is probably
maybe you know that. But the thing is that begs the question: was it even them in the first place? Because remember, the first half they was getting killed, the defense, and then the second half is when they pick it up and they.
When fellas let up off the gas, like I said.
Exactly. It wasn't that defense.
That was Josh Allen. Okay, that's Allen's worst game of the season, probably.
Yeah.
Right. So you want to give the defense some credit. That was his worst game of the season, but also it could just been an early season game, and he just had to get the jitters of probably. That's the next thing.
But
if it's any time for them to take advantage, like you say, it's today. It's today.
Give us your pick. Go try and
I got Steelers. I got Steelers. I got Steelers over the Broncos.
Y'all league devil there.
Listen, if they don't win this one, that's it for them.
I got Steelers. I got Steelers. They have to find a way to slow down Javonte Williams. If they could find a way to do that without Teddy Bridgewater playing, I think they'll be able to pull this one on. So I got Steelers in a close one. Low scoring game.
I get the Steelers too, but yeah, in a close game, I don't see the Steelers unless it depends on the turnover differential. If the quarterback for the Broncos comes in and throw a bunch of picks and interceptions and they go for 6 and all type of stuff, that's a easy win. But if he comes out and game manages and they run the ball, even though their running back is out, it could be a close game. But as for now, I can be honest, that the defense looking stink. I think the crowd's starting to get annoyed with them. You don't want your head coach on the hot seat. So I think, to be honest, it may be early, but this is a must win. Because if you lose this game, your season's probably could be over.
Yeah.
And a lot of people be on the hot seat. Ben Roethlisberger can be on the retirement seat. The coach can be on the hot seat. So it's like you can't lose this game. You go 1-4. That's a tough hill to climb. You definitely ain't winning that division with the Ravens and the Browns there. So this is a must win for them to even stay alive in their own division.
Especially against an undermanned team. So I mean, you have to capitalize and win these games when they come on your schedule.
Right. The football gods giving them a gift right now. Hey, listen, you know, I mean, been good. See a little easy game for y'all. Get this one.
Yeah.
They lose this.
Bounce back.
Yeah.
Also, instead of we shouldn't even start off with 1 o'clock games because we got a game going on right now over in the other side of the world. Well, not really that. Well, lay over the water. Let's say on the water. We got the Jets and the Falcons on NFL Network right now going on where the Falcons are up 17-0. Now, you know, against Sans Jets. Notice I make sure double down. I say who? Dog say my Jets. Good.
My Jets.
Good.
My
Dog
Jets.
say he Jets. So right now the Jets is getting roast.
But I think
second quarter, there's only the 8 minutes left in the second quarter. The Falcons have 17 points on them already.
Yeah, but I mean, I think I saw they hit their rookie tight end for a touchdown. I'm playing against him in fantasy. But
Pitt's killing them.
Yeah, him. But Matt Ryan, I don't know. Maybe he heard the critics. I don't know. But
He's been playing well the last few weeks.
Right. He looked like he back to normal. I mean, well, I wouldn't say normal. Normally and good. He been pretty impressive the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And this is without his wide receiver one. I mean, air quotes, wide receiver one in Calvin Ridley. So
my thing with him,
I mean, if we had a chance to predict that game, I would have picked the Falcons. I'd be surprised.
Oh boy. My thing is with the Matt Ryan, right? Like I tell fellas, Matt Ryan is taking the safe plays now. He's not making the throws like, oh, that's my contract year. I gotta go air it out, try and get the most yards in the league and score the most touchdowns and try to get this and that. With Matt Ryan right now, Matt Ryan is 15 for 20, 168 yards and 2 touchdowns at halftime. Dog looked like a fantasy QB1, and I ain't much people start him this week. Also, they got Patterson. Patterson also coming in. Like, I don't know what happened. He must be on a contract here. Patterson came on like he can't be stopped. Then you got Kyle Pitts for rookie. I ain't gonna lie, I always like Kyle Pitts. I just didn't like him going to the Falcons. I really wanted him to go to a better offense where he can succeed in this offense, but the team is not gonna succeed.
Play good. Yeah,
so I want him to go to a team where he could have been good and the team be good. So it could correlate, but as for now, looking at Zach Wilson stats, Zach Wilson right now is 2 for 7. 2 for 7 with 25 yards, 0 touchdown, 0, and an interception.
Now
My
listen,
Lord, man. The
I'm really
man.
surprised at that.
Oh,
Wilson
no.
he lead the league in interceptions. Uh,
You
he
could
lead the
chill.
league in interceptions. He got
Wait.
8 for the season. Well, he got 9 now for the season. And I mean, coming into this game, these are two teams that didn't really. I don't think they recorded any interceptions for the season, so something had to give. I think Matt Ryan got a few, but like you said, Matt Ryan been playing a lot better recently. And when you don't have a defense that can put pressure on you, the better quarterback will shine. I love a better quarterback. The quarterback, if you don't have a defense that can put pressure on you, the quarterback will shine. Matt Ryan, he seems to be shining right now. So
Yeah. Wilson just
it's
just
still time to
trash.
make a comeback.
Yeah,
But
they have plenty time, and they have the
yeah,
ball right now. But it is what
I
it
wouldn't
is.
I wouldn't bet on it, but it's still time to make a comeback. We'll see what happens. Y'all check me in the next 30 minutes.
No, we can
Check
be
me in the
ready.
next 30 minutes.
We can update y'all at the end of the show. We can update y'all before we leave the score of the Jets and Falcons overseas. We done cover the first game, the Steelers and Brown. Let's get it over with. Let's go in with the Dolphins and Buccaneers. Let's get it over with. Let's tear the band-aid
Yeah,
off. Let them take their pain
yeah,
and move on.
let's get it through. Let's
We
get it
got
through.
1 o'clock. The 1-3 Dolphins against the 3-1 Buccaneers. Tom Brady is coming off a record-breaking game, playing in basically a hurricane against the Patriots last week in a very, very tense environment. Coming down. Let me see. They playing in Miami? Nope. They playing in
They
Tampa,
playing,
so that's
they
smoke.
playing Tampa Bay.
Dolphins don't have no excuse. They only have 2-0. Devontae Parker has a shoulder injury, but he's
Are you
questionable.
serious?
He more. I mean, Tua. I keep telling y'all from the start. I told y'all from your draft Tua. The guy is injury prone. I watch Alabama. He was always. Y'all want to talk about the Patriots quarterback being a system quarterback. So is Tua. He thrived in a good like. Come on, it's Alabama. Alabama is almost like an NFL team. Like people legit. If the Alabama play the Jets right now, people would legit put money down in Vegas that Alabama would win that game. So it ain't like, oh, he carried scrubs someplace. Dog, to be honest, like I say, I never saw the thing with Tua. And even before he got drafted, he had a broken hip. He was coming off. And now he came into the NFL. And like he is small and
He's really
he just
smart.
doesn't have the protection. That Dolphins, you see, the problem is they got a head coach from the Patriots that's a defensive minded head coach. And that defense has done a 180 to the point of where, listen, that defense looks like one of the best defense in the league. They top 10 for sure. The only problem is he don't care about the offense. They haven't added a top running back. They haven't added top receivers. They haven't given this man anything. Top lineman. They haven't given this guy anything on the offense to do nothing with. But every year, you going out and getting linebackers. You going out and your two cornerbacks fighting each other to be the highest paid cornerbacks in the league. It's hard to keep one cornerback the highest paid in the league, as you see with the Patriots. You trying to keep two cornerbacks the highest paid in the league, and you ain't giving nothing to your offensive line or to your offensive game. So that's why the Dolphins, to be honest, this the best defense I've seen the Dolphins had. Period. And since I've been watching the Dolphins, it's the best defense they have. But to be honest, this offense isn't. I can't say the worst because I've seen the Dolphins had worse, but this isn't a good offense that they have, especially now with 2-0. Um, you might have spurts or you might have games where they show a little some you know some heart and may score a touchdown or two or kick a field goal, but this offense ain't it. And going up against one of the best defense in the league right now in Tampa Bay, that's literally shutting down almost everybody without safeties and cornerbacks because they had to go sign Richard Sherman. I feel like this can be a blow.
But I mean, y'all still without George safety. Y'all still down. How much time cornerbacks y'all down? 2, 3.
Uh, Two, but they just got Richard Sherman, who is now coming round.
Yeah.
And I expect them to find some gem someplace. One thing with certain teams, they can find some fellas. But Gronk is
Yes.
out today.
So Broncos too.
Yeah, Gronk
But
out. Pierre Paul out. So
the team is undermanned.
it's on the
I
man, but
think, yeah.
this is a game they can handle.
But okay.
So wait, y'all make
I don't think
predictions yet, or y'all?
I don't think no one picking the Dolphins. So let's just get this out of the way. No, I don't think no one yet picking the Dolphins. If you picking the Dolphins, raise your hand because you know X Factor go.
Yeah,
I see.
make sure. Let's make sure.
I
Let's
see
make
your
sure
hand.
confirm.
I see your hand in front of this camera.
Raise your hand.
I see your hand bouncing in front of this camera.
Right side now. If you're picking the Dolphins, raise your hand. Right? You can do it how you do it in school. If you're picking them, raise your hand. You ain't picking them already. Cool.
No.
Now, I think I go on Tampa Bay, obviously, but I think this actually might be a closer game than than we think for a few reasons. Again, we just talked about the injuries that Tampa Bay has. The cornerbacks out, Antoine Wilson's out, and then Gronk is out as well. So there are some injuries that will affect how they play continuity wise, and then obviously I think this is the last week that Brissett is going to be playing before Tua returns next week. So I wouldn't be surprised if he has a great game just on the fact of that desperation back against the wall type of stuff. So they're not going to win. But if they could keep it competitive, I wouldn't be surprised. And I wouldn't be surprised also if Tampa Bay just after an emotional win last week, thought it has like an emotional letdown this game.
At home?
You know what I mean?
No, sir. Also, an update is that Devontae Parker has been ruled out with a hamstring injury. So they done one down receiver. Okay, keep it going.
So I still will go with Tampa Bay, obviously, but I would not be surprised if the margin is within 10 points.
Wow. In the first quarter. But what's
That's
your
my
pick?
bold prediction.
Great.
I got the Bucks. I mean, this one is a no-brainer for everybody. I mean, I agree that I feel like you could always run some numbers to come up with a justification why the game should be close. But realistically, there's no way that the Dolphins could even compete with the Bucks unless the Bucks are not playing good. I don't see. I mean, you could talk about that defense. You could talk about the Bucks and what they go into and how they hype. But there's one thing Brady is consistent. There's one thing he have over everybody else is consistency. Trust me, I hated the man for years. I know what he have. That dude consistent. So he ain't about to lose to no Dolphins just because he had, heroic game last week. That don't phase him. He had millions of them.
They ain't about to lose now. Don't twist my words. I don't say they lose it.
No, you don't say it's gonna lose.
Yeah, I just say I think it could be a semi-competitive game. I got put semi in quotes. Semi-competitive. All right, what we got next?
Well, since we done on the Buccaneers and Dolphins with Tom Brady, let's go over to the next 1:00 game. We got the New England Patriots versus the Houston Texans in Houston. And this friggin', I can't even roll up my screen fast enough to see this injury report for New England. I don't know what happened, but damn, they got 4 offensive linemen out, 4 starting offensive linemen out, along with the Mills, their cornerback. The kicker is questionable with a left knee injury. Like, you have one job is to keep your legs healthy. How you get a left knee injury?
Go back. 4
starting offensive linemen out. Not even questionable. Shaq Mason, Brown, like all these guys, for some reason, I don't know. They must have had a tripping contest in practice. All these guys out. And then questionable guys. You got Bentley, you got Jones, you got Duggar, you got Van Noy. Like, all the linebackers questionable. So you got all your offensive line out and all your linebackers on the defense questionable. I don't know what the hell happened in practice.
What type practices?
Bill Mussey run fellas into the ground. Bill Mussey is so hot after that field goal miss. Because I didn't see this boy with no left knee injury. Bill Mussey had this boy kicking footballs for 6 hours straight in practice from Monday to Friday. because I don't know how you get a left knee injury, but okay. Obviously with Houston, no Deshaun Watson, of course. Burkhead is out. Cannon is questionable, and Amendola, who's now playing for Houston Texans, is
I didn't know that.
questionable.
Ali?
And yeah, he's still in the league in the graveyard, but I don't know. Well, that's a tough one. I never thought this would be a tough one for me to pick, but with the injuries stockpiling like this, yeah. And both teams are 1-3. Both teams are on a losing streak. But obviously, I game with the Patriots just because both of these teams are last in the league in everything. The only thing that separates them is the Patriots' defense.
Yeah, which
So
is which
far,
is which is top 10, I think, right?
the Patriots' defense has been okay, and obviously, like I say, Belichick is a defensive coach. He can make sure the defense straight. And I think this is a game for Mac Jones to prove that, hey, put me out there with anybody. Give me the rock. If he could go out there and let's say throw for 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, manage the game, don't give any turnovers, and they manage. I ain't saying this could be no blowout. This could be a very close game, a very entertaining game, probably a low scoring game.
Those
Um,
fun.
but I expect the Patriots to pull this out because I don't know if Tyrod Taylor is back
He's
healthy,
not.
like so.
Ain't back, right?
I don't
No,
see
he ain't
them.
back.
People saying, "Oh, we lost Gilmore," and obviously they haven't been watching our games because we never had Gilmore. Gilmore has been on IR for the whole first half of the season, so and our defense is still top 10, still leading, still have one of the top leads in interception. So I still going with the Patriots in this one.
Yeah, I got Patriots against the backup quarterback. What's his name? The
Who
backup
knows?
quarterback for the Texans.
Who
David,
knows?
David Mills.
Mills,
David
Mills.
Mills.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
go with the Patriots top 10 defense against Mills for this one. I mean, it's nothing else even noteworthy for the Texans. I mean, I can't even think of one shred of positivity to even say they could, you know what I mean, put up with their defense suck, their offense suck, quarterback out. At least the
I
Patriots
mean,
have structure. And the Patriots have structure and they have
yeah.
um
They have good
a
coaching.
rising quarterback, right? And they have good top 10 defense. So
Hmm.
there's no way I could see the Texans coming away with this one. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
you know, any given Sunday is protocol haven't been established. I think the Pats got this one.
Well, boy, listen. Right now, with the Texans roster, I think you could put them against IMG and they'd have a tough time winning that game. Um, Davis Mills just get shut out last week, 40-0, right? 40-0. I don't have much faith on them to win many games against many teams, but like you all said, I don't think this game is going to be a very explosive scoring game. If both teams are down key players, I wouldn't be surprised if the game is won on the ground. And I think Patriots have enough. I think Damon Harris probably has a great game today. Um, and I think Mark Jones them just does enough just to get the W against a Texans team that doesn't really have any odds on defense or on offense, to be honest. So I'll go with the Patriots. It's going to be a low scoring game, like you had said, but I think it'll just be enough to get the job done.
Yeah, I know why y'all get picking my team, but okay. Um,
We try to pick
one
winners, and your team just so happen might be a winner this week. I mean,
that that
you
doesn't
ain't
make
really
good
been
much
winning
for
much
y'all.
this season, but you know,
All right, yeah, let's grab when it comes to the next game, Panthers and Eagles. Let me hear this now.
you all know right
The
now.
the 3-0,
But,
the formerly 3-0 fake lead Panthers went up against
we,
an actual good team last week and got smoked and lost. So now they've been exposed going up against a young QB and a hungry defense in the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the storyline is, do y'all expect the Carolina Panthers to bounce back and be that so called top team that they uh, didn't prove to be, but their record showed that they were? Or are y'all
The
going with
record,
the
the record
up and coming?
suggested that they were.
The record
Yeah,
suggested it exactly. Right,
I
suggested it.
yeah, I got the Panthers. I think the Panthers defense once again. Um, um, it's gonna like you said they went up against a good team last week. This week they seem a good team. The Eagles seem a good team. So
Okay.
I mean, they seem like they're playing Chiefs or the Rams or something. Their defense still top 10 in the league.
Mm.
Uh, I'm taking the Panthers too, but I'm as confident. I mean, Christian McCaffrey should be coming back, so that should really help, obviously.
I'm more
That was
excited to
real.
see how Gilmore fit in. Gilmore playing this week.
I don't know
No.
who's playing this week.
Phil Gilmore is on IR. The man is on IR. He is not going to see the field earliest
December.
until week 8. Earliest.
I'm more interested in see how we can fit in with this already good defense.
The
So I'm
defense,
interested
yeah,
in
the
that.
defense
But
is
Listen, let me tell you
but
something about Patriots players. When you see Bill let go someone like that, big like that, a top player of his defense, they're going downhill. I guarantee you, Gilmore will get another big contract, and he's gonna be nothing like what he was in the Patriots. We did it with Vince Wilfork, we did it with Richard Seymour, we did it with all those guys. Bill knows when you're done. And right now, the man has been injured with a serious injury, and now you've been out for half the season, and then you coming back off IR, you got to get back up the game pace against wide receivers who in mid-season form,
yeah,
and then at the end of the season you go and talk about you on big contract extension top 5. No, get that from the Panthers. You only get that from Bill. He didn't want to pay you when you was top cornerback. You think you get paid now? So that was a
true.
smart move where we save cap space and got a draft pick. And whoever gets him, y'all could evaluate that. Either you give him a long-term deal or a 3-year deal, 2-year deal, or you let him walk this summer and let him go to someplace else and be like Richard Sherman and just get roast and toast in the
Okay, so who
backfield.
you got? Oh, that being said, you
My
yeah,
pick
who you
for
got?
this game, to
let me
be
see how
honest with
bold
you,
you is right now.
I game with the Philadelphia Eagles. Fuck that.
Wow.
I got the Philadelphia Eagles coming into Carolina and beating the Carolina Panthers. If McCaffrey is back, I could be real. I might have gone with the Panthers. McCaffrey is out today, and like I said,
Has he officially been ruled out? Has he officially been ruled out?
um
They
it
say it's a
says
possibility of
it,
Trinity.
it says doubtful. He was questionable at the beginning of the day, and now it says doubtful. So if anything, he's going down. He's heading downward and trending downward when it comes to
Yeah,
playing today.
okay, so I see
Yeah,
doubtful.
and I don't think most people who listed as doubtful ever playing. I mean, it's possible,
Yeah,
but
when you listen to doubtful,
Ex-
you usually don't play.
that's
Especially
highly unlikely.
Yeah,
your franchise running back. If he's doubtful, you're not gonna push the envelope, especially at week
yeah.
5 to make him play. If this was a last game to get into the playoff, yes. Week 5, no. And you 3-1, you could lose another game. I mean, you can't, but in their mind, they could. So, like I said, I gave with the Philadelphia Eagles in that one. And y'all would call it an upset, but to me, that's playing.
I mean, McCaffrey out, then it may not be upset. I still go with the Panthers. I am a little concerned if McCaffrey is doubtful, and they already have a banged up offensive line. So that is a little cause for concern. But I still stick with my pick.
Okay. There's another team, Graylin, like. We can go to the next game. The Detroit Lions versus the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings took the L last week, and the Detroit Lions been taking L's the whole season. So it's like pick your poison. I don't know what to say.
Make it seem like this game just about who could take the L.
Yeah, these just two losing teams. The Lions haven't won a game yet, and the Vikings only won one game. Dalvin Cook is questionable with an
Yeah,
ankle,
it's questionable.
and
Interesting.
Detroit has their running back Swift, who is questionable. So, with that being said, I go with the Vikings just because I like that Jefferson kid. He helped me to win fantasy last year. Uh, Thielen is one of the most underrated QBs in the league, especially when it's come to him playing teams to their level. Now, when it comes to big games and you use the underdog, he has showed that that's why he's the underdog because he don't perform in big games. But when it comes to games on this level or teams he should beat like this this team, yeah, he shows out. So I expect him to put on a good
Yeah,
performance.
but I mean, at the same time, back to the Dolphin Cook thing.
Hello?
Girl, that this Wi-Fi. Um,
Um, yeah, I going with the Vikings. Detroit hasn't really shown me enough. I think so far since I mean mostly every matchup Kirk Cousins plays against this team, he usually dominates. So I expect him to have a good game. Um, and again, I mean, I don't know. I don't see how the Lions have much of a chance. Um, so yeah, it's not one. It's not really hard for me. I think it'll be a easy win for the Vikings.
Alright. Well, when Raylan gets back, we get his pick for that. But for now, we'll move on to the next 1 o'clock game. We got the Green Bay Packers at the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I gotta let fellas know, I see this only, they have the Green Bay Packers as the favorite by plus, well, -3. They trying to say they only win by a field goal. I don't see that. Um, this is another team in Cincinnati who record precedes
So
their
no love for
play.
Cincinnati.
I saying
That's what
that
you're
because
saying.
I
No love.
been picking Cincinnati to beat a couple of y'all teams. They beat the Bears. They beat a couple of teams that y'all thought they wouldn't have beat. But in this situation, I don't see it happening. Also, I have Joe Mixon in fantasy. Joe Mixon hasn't practiced all week, and he just did a little workout yesterday. They talking about questionable. I don't see him being effective, even if he does play against the Packers, because number one, once the Packers get in the lead, you ain't running no ball no more. Your running back done injured, and you playing from behind. You think they giving Joe Mixon any ball? Gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
So I know for sure I done sit Joe Mixon. Um, Packers is on a win streak, 3-1, and I feel like this is an opponent that they need to take advantage of while they can take advantage of them. So with this, I have it as Packers, and I don't have it being. I don't. I can't say not close. When I say close, it ain't gonna be no 3 point game. It ain't gonna be no field goal game.
No,
But
it ain't gonna be no field game. I
I
got
got
a
Packers.
yeah, I got a Packers too. I think like you say, it probably won't be a close game. But I mean, listen, the Bengals 3-1 too. They on a 2 game winning streak. Packers on a 3 game winning streak. Anything could happen. Um, every time Green Bay plays inside Cincinnati, some weird things will happen before in the past. I mean, if you remember in 2005 when that fine ran on the field, um, 2005. So you never know. Some silly things could happen. But I think Aaron Rodgers will get enough help from his guys today, and they'll pull it off. I don't like I said. I don't think it'll be particularly close, but they'll get the win again.
Um, I'm not too fond of either of these guys' defense, so I think it could be a shootout. I think these guys could be throwing the ball. Like let's say, I don't think they could be doing too much running. At least not the Bengals. That is. I think the Packers just have more firepower. And they got last year's
Way more
MVP.
firepower.
They got Jones. They got Parker. I just think I don't. And I'm high on Joe Burrow. I really think he's the quarterback of the future, but I don't think he could be the quarterback of the future with this team. So I got the Packers. What was your pick for the last matchup?
No, let's pick the. Well, I picked the Vikings.
So I
I
have to
got the
do
Vikings.
Vikings. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
got Vikings too. Okay. So you all got Packers there too, or someone picked Bengals?
Yeah,
I
I
got
picked
Packers.
Packers.
I got Bengals. So don't put it on me. Packers in this one. But like I said, it could be a game. It could be a game. Um, so we'll see what happens.
All right. Next, we got two 500 teams, two iffy teams, two shaky teams, two I don't know seesaw back and forward teams. On a 1 o'clock game, we got the New Orleans Saints and the Washington Redskins. Well, Washington football team, whatever you want to call it. This is in
Washington
Washington.
football league.
The problem is none of these teams have shown that they could pull away from each other. The Saints lost last week in a game that we thought they would win, and Washington won last week on a walk off, somewhere type last second play. So it wasn't really like no impressive, no dominant victory. Um, Both of these teams are so shaky that, like I say, one week New Orleans look like old New Orleans, and then one week they look like Jameis Winston in Tampa Bay, and then you got Washington who looks good some weeks because Heineken throwing the ball, scoring touchdowns, doing all these things, and then the
For
next
the
week
ball
like,
really well.
it's like dog can't even get the ball out of his hand. So I don't know. With that being said, this is a tough pick for me. I like games like this because even though the teams aren't 4-0 or 3-0 or big time teams, this is still gonna it's be close games like this, and I don't know.
Um, I agree with Washington. It could be a close game, like you said. I agree with Washington. They have to find a way to slow down tomorrow. Um, so if they could find a way to slow him down, I'll go with a guy in Heineken, who I think overall has been more consistent as a starter than Jameis Winston. Let's just keep it a buck, right? So I'll go with the team where think has a more consistent quarterback, more accurate quarterback. If they could find a way to slow down the running game of New Orleans, that would be the biggest issue. But I'll go with Washington.
Team is just so inconsistent, man. And when I say inconsistent, I mean he's not the Jameis that we know. And I think uh the Saints, I don't know if they like it that way, but I think there's just been a a cap on his game to the point where I do, like we say, just throwing 100 yard games, and then I just don't think he could be himself when he's on this team. And he's
But
so
what are the
afraid.
choices they have?
Right. I mean, you can't just throw it in
Yeah.
that. And the reason he can't be himself as well is because the quarterback competition was so. Okay, that me?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. The reason he can't be himself is because the quarterback competition was so tight. You know what I mean? That dude was just sitting there waiting to play. So Jameis just messed up a few times, he gone. So I think once that inconsistent play lingers, I don't see them winning no games again. Not against no okay teams like Washington. I got Washington in this one. Until they can figure out that quarterback situation. Until they can figure out Jameis' confidence. They ain't winning no big games.
Yeah, well, with that being said, again with the Saints, um,
Yeah. This is
obviously
it.
y'all obviously haven't been grasping the concept of this. Week one, they won by 35 points. They beat the Packers. Week one, 38-3. Week
Yeah.
two, they lost by almost
Very
20 points
unbalanced game.
to Carolina, 26-7. Week three, they blowed the Patriots, 28-13. Then week
That's it.
four, you can lose to the Giants. So it's like you win the games you wasn't supposed to, and you
Mhm.
lose the games that you were supposed to win.
So this
And
game being
Let's
a
have
game
it.
they're supposed to win.
So
so
let's
far,
go. Let's go.
it has been win week one, lost week two, win week three, lost week four, and this is now week five. I given
Okay, I see.
what Jameis say. I feel like eating
You
W's
W.
today.
You
Eating
eat the
the
WA.
W
All right.
today. Eating the
Yes, you play.
Washington and
You
eating
go,
W.
you going with analytics.
You
That's surprising.
Not
ain't never
really.
had it.
I just
You going
feel
with
like the
numbers.
Saints right
You play
now.
a tic tac toe.
I just feel like the
You play a
Saints
tic
right
tac
now
toe. Win
has
one,
this
lose
is a
one.
must
Win
win,
one, lose one. You
and they
play
gonna
that
win.
because
You play any mini money modes when he
But
play.
that's
I know
exactly.
these
But
games.
that's the thing with
That's
this
what you
team.
doing.
That's what they've been. That's what they're gonna do. That's the whole concept with them. With Jameis on your team, it is any mini miny mode. It is 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week on. Like that's Jameis. We've seen it his whole career. So I don't know
One,
why you're
one
looking
thing
for
with him.
consistency.
Well, first of all, let's just slash that whole first week situation because that was more about Green Bay than it was about New Orleans.
Exactly.
Don't,
I wouldn't even give
exactly.
James.
don't take away the monster. It ain't like, oh, they win 7-3. They still put up 38 points. Jameis Winston threw 4 to 5 touchdowns with one of the top cornerbacks there. Don't discredit that man. Don't do that.
The man ain't throw over 250 yards for the season.
That's the rest of them. But don't discredit game one. Game one, he won.
Game one, he still threw 100 and some yards.
With 5 touchdowns. He didn't have to.
Yeah,
He didn't
with
see
5
no, he didn't see
touchdowns.
no catch. He didn't see no competition. What I throwing all these yards for? Y'all can't stop me. No man, y'all can't stop me. What I throwing all these yards for?
He's scared to throw it.
Game one was a wash. Even that game, but we know Green Bay also lost that game. Then you talk about him running to Carolina, getting the head punch off. Right? Then he faced a Patriots team that's currently 1-3, a rebuilding Patriots team, right? That is competitive, but it really ain't that good of a team. And then obviously he lost to the Giants. So we know their place in the league. Yeah, even though they're 2-2, they are very middle of the pack, borderline bad team, right? 1 or 2 shakes, and the situation can get really nasty. So I think he run into a more stable franchise, a more competitive franchise right now in Washington football game, and I think they'll be able to get the W.
Yeah, okay. Keep that same energy. Just like how you keeping that Jets energy. And an update right now, at halftime, the Jets is down 20-3. They barely scrap on field goal. They had to kick one field goal just to put the points on the board for the first half. They're down 20-3 to the Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons. But let's move on because we got one more 1 o'clock game. The 1 o'clock game we got last right now is the Tennessee Titans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Y'all who so high on Mr. Trevor Lawrence or whatever he is, let me hear y'all take on who y'all feel should win this game. Because all y'all pick wrong with Tennessee last week.
You too. You pick wrong. Listen, this. I don't see Tennessee losing to 2 bad teams in a row. So I think they'll be able to pull this one off. I guess the game plan would be to get Derrick Henry going very, very early to try to put this one away. You know what I mean? So I don't see how the Jaguars have an answer for him on defense. And then I think Ryan Tannehill would bounce back. He'll have a better game than he had last week. He sort of played better down the stretch of the game against the Jets last week. I think he'll just carry that over and play much better from the start. So I expect him to win this game pretty easily. It won't be a blow, but I don't think it'll be that competitive.
But AJ Brown is back, I think.
Okay. Yeah, and they get him back, AJ Brown. Yeah. When he was supposed to come back?
I'm not sure. I think he's still out this week, though. I think AJ Brown is back. So
he have a hamstring injury, and nothing happening.
I don't think Titans lose to a bad team. Again, I mean, the 2 worst teams in the league. I mean, unless you count Texans as the worst. Top 3 worst teams in the league. You can't lose to 2 of them.
Not back to back.
No, definitely not back to back. No.
Yeah, so they're fine with it, but it's all.
Yeah, I think I got the Titans in this one. I got King Henry in this one.
See, the problem with this is, like I tell you with defensive coaches' problem is they always focus on the defense. So it's almost like when it comes to them playing other teams, they scheme very well versus other team when it comes to defense. The only problem is their offensive schemes, they overthink it. So almost like last week, he's like, oh, we know there's going to fill the box with Derrick Henry because he's thinking as a defensive coach. Oh, I would fill the box, obviously, with Derrick Henry. So on the offensive side, he thinking that, to counter that, I should do a lot of play action and let friggin' Tannehill throw the ball 40 times. That's stupid. An offensive coach can always say, go with your strength, big brother. Now, if they beat you and your strength that day, then they just beat you. That's like Phil Jackson say, oh, man, I know they can triple team Jordan today. I think I should let Paxson go off. Just let Paxson shoot up 23 pointers because they're gonna leave him wide open. That don't make no sense. They can triple team Jordan, but Jordan being Jordan can find a way. Last week they should have give Derrick Henry the ball more because Derrick Henry is gonna find a way. Even at the end of that game, when you saw they tried to force feed him, he made it happen. Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry for a reason. In this game, I hope he learned from his mistake and he goes up against a Jacksonville front that I wouldn't say is easy, but it isn't what it used to be. So I expect Derrick Henry to run for close to 200 yards, minimum 2 touchdowns, and be fed the ball about 40 times. And I just don't see this game being close if that formula is there. If you decide to pull the ball down and do crap with Tannehill again, I see this being a very close game, and you could possibly lose a close game again because you're trying to overthink what your strength is. Brown coming back is a help, but it's not. Obviously, even if he's wide receiver 1, you're still going to double him because there's nothing on the other side to even glimpse at. So it's like that takes one extra person out the box, which makes it easier for Derrick Henry now to go off because now that extra person who he's dropping down in the box in safety has to stay up top because of Brown. So with that being said, I expect Tennessee to run away literally with this game because that's the only way they can win.
I mean, they shouldn't have no problem doing just that. Like you say, the addition of Brown would at least add another offensive option to where if Tannehill still has the same touches he had last week, he should at least be more efficient if Brown is there. So, but like I said, it starts and ends with Derrick Henry. You got to feed him, and you got to feed him early, and then just let him carry you to the W. Don't worry about nothing else. So yeah, everybody got Tennessee on that one.
Yeah.
What the next one is?
Next game we got Raiders. That's it for the 1 o'clock game. Okay. We get into the 4 o'clock games now. We got the Raiders in Las Vegas with the fans coming off a great night watching Cut It versus Chicago Bears. So
this actually, I think this will be a good game. Actually, I've given Matt Nagy a lot of crap so far for the season with the way he's handled Fields, but he really has this Bears team playing pretty impressive football, and defensively, they still got it like that. You know what I mean? This would be a homecoming for Khalil Mack. I would not be surprised if this game is very, very close. It comes down to maybe a field goal. But I think the Raiders, they have a sour taste in their mouth from last week's game against the Chargers. So I'll pick the Raiders winning this one.
Yeah, I got the Raiders too. Carr is still on a tail. Bears defense has been pretty good, but I don't think Carr's going to let up against the Bears. I think. Did we consider him MVP candidate? You said Marie. We said
yes. We said Carr's up there.
We said Carr, right? So I think his MVP candidacy is going to continue. His brilliance is going to continue. I think he's the best defense will have a chance. Best defense is top 10. I don't remember if they was top 10 or
not. Not really. Not. I wouldn't say top 10. Probably top 15. They're not that bad, but they're not that good.
Right, they're in the middle of the pack. Yeah. And Carr has two of the better defenses than this, so I don't see this being a problem for him.
Yeah. And don't forget the Bears also without your boy Montgomery running back. So that's another into their offense as well.
Yeah, they should be able to hold firm. My thing is with the Bears, Khalil Mack is questionable with ribs. I think he's gonna play, but injuries, playing doesn't mean you're effective. Not to say that he's not gonna get a sack or get some pressure to the guy. I saying like you're gonna feel it. You know it's an injury. especially ribs injury. You being a linebacker, that means whenever a running back comes through the hole, he's gonna drop his shoulder and come into your ribs because you have to tackle a certain way now. This soft NFL helps you wrapping guys up, and you basically like, invite guys to hit you in your chest and ribs now to protect the offensive player while they dropping their shoulder and leading with their helmet. But that's a whole nother story. But with this Las Vegas, we got Derek Carr. I need him to come back. I don't have it in fantasy or nothing, but I just like the story of Derek Carr. Like he's always been underrated underdog. I need him to show out today in front of his Las Vegas um, fans, and also they got their running back Josh Jacobs coming back. Well, he was back last game, but like I say, injury is injury. Your body tells you, listen, I don't care how good you is, how much muscle you have, how strong you is. When I hurting. You can hold your head until I feel better. So um, Josh Jacobs now coming off a good week of practice. I expect him to fit right back in there. But I do have Darren Waller in fantasy, who I expect to carve this defense up. Yeah. So with that being said, I game with the Raiders in the 4 o'clock game because this needs to be a win for them. You can't lose to the Bears right now.
Waller really would be the best tight end in fantasy this year.
Oh, anyway, that's another. We'll go over that Tuesday. I don't want to take up too much time with that. We'll go over that on Tuesday. Very cool. Another 4 o'clock game. We got the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Jets. This was one of my picks for game of the week. The guys asked me why. I guess they will see why when the game play. But the storyline, everybody knows Giants, Cowboys hate each other, rivalry. But last week, the Giants played a surprisingly good game. Danny Jones came out, did what he did. The line was protecting. And right now, that's a weakness for the Cowboys because the Cowboys' defensive line is banged up. Armstrong is out. I think Gregory is out. They got some key players out on that defense, at least in the front line. They just released their linebacker this week in a shocking move, who went to the Packers. A very shocking move, as in he was one of their top linebackers last year. And for some reason, I guess he fell down the depth chart this year. They got some young guys there out producing him. And for that salary, I guess Jerry Jones released him. And for Jerry Jones to care about your contract and overpaying you, you know you're doing bad. Because Jerry Jones don't have a problem overpaying. And if he got to release you because he feel like you ain't producing up to whatever, then that's it for that. Amari Cooper has a hamstring, and Zeke has a left knee issue. But we know the two-headed monster now that Dallas possesses with Zeke and Pollard, whatever they call him. So I feel like he will have they can make up the ground in the running game. Just concerned about the passing game a little bit and the defensive line. All in that said, he's still game with the Cowboys just because the Cowboys just look much better this year. I still don't see them being a Super Bowl team. Let's not get excited. I don't even see them being a conference championship team, but I do see them being a playoff team and division champions. And in order to win your division, you got to beat your division opponents. This is a division opponent that they need to beat today. They already have a win against the Eagles. They are already 3-1. So if you could get another win against the Giants now, you'll be 2-0 in your division. And down the stretch, you could cruise your way into the playoffs coming up.
And I think they are fully aware of that. And so, given that, they're looking to be the teams they're supposed to be. This Giants is one of those teams. I don't think they take their foot off the gas right now. I think I think the Cowboys win this one. Dak is another MVP candidate. Donnie is playing. Donnie is improving his game week by week. He had some really good games the last 2 weeks, but I think
very good.
I think the MVP candidate still steals this one. Cowboys.
I go with the Giants. Um, I go with the
as
Giants.
expected.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I agree with everything you all say in terms of the Cowboys can't afford to lose this game. They can't afford to take their foot off the gas. Doc is playing at a really, really high level. Then you got, like you say, Zeke and Tony Pollard. That's the two other monsters right there. Them dudes balling. Um, I'm still not that impressed with Dallas defense. It has gotten better. I would say that Don is doing a good job in that, but I still don't have faith in their defense. And Donnie Jones is in perfect position to carve that up. He's been getting guys like Tony and Golladay some really, really good looks. Saquon is rounding back into form,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been looking really good over the last 2 weeks. So I am going to go with the Giants. This is going to be an upset. I'm going to take the Giants on this one.
Because I think this game could be a good game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game.
I think it's gonna be a close game too.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think
even a
it's going to
field
be
goal
a
game.
very, very entertaining game. Um, but we'll see. That's one of the 4:20 matchup. Another game that I feel is going to be entertaining at 4 o'clock is Brown Chargers. We got 2, 3, and 1 teams. Um, I don't know what's going on here, but the Browns have a whole worksheet full of injuries. Um, Both of these teams are on win streaks, but to be honest, in my opinion, I feel like the Browns' win streak is going to come to an end today. Just because I see Jadavian Clowney, I see Miles Garrett, I see almost everybody on this injury report, and two people who I don't see on this injury report who reported injury this week was Odell Beckham, who said he has an injury that he's been dealing with for
10 years.
three,
He's a
yeah, for like his whole career that he never got
Yeah.
fixed, which doesn't make sense because all his injuries he had plenty time to get fixed. And then Baker Mayfield, who was a torn shoulder injury, and I was like, so medical staff in Cleveland. Doesn't Cleveland have one of the best? Like Cleveland Clinic is one of the best places in the whole United States. People all around the world is go to Cleveland Clinic.
yeah.
And these fellas out here talking about, oh, I playing injured and I can't get no treat. Like, what's
Listen,
really going on?
It ain't even, I don't even think it's about that though. I think. Well, your pick is the Brown. I mean, it's the Chargers. My pick is the Chargers as well, and my pick is the Chargers because the Browns has a really good running game, right? Chubb got the second most yards for the season behind Derrick Henry, and then they have a really good defense. The
So you
one
could
thing that
argue Chucky in the best running back in that team.
Yes,
I
stop
think
it now.
he
Stop
got,
it.
he got the second most rushing yards of the season.
You could argue
Chubb,
it.
Chubb is far ahead and above Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt just is a bully when it comes to red zone. So Chubb will get you 80 yards down the field, and I know it's very annoying that when he get to the goal line, they won't get a ball to friggin' Kareem Hunt. So it makes it look like Kareem Hunt scores so much and he does so much and he's so good. Come on now. We know how that goes.
But the thing is, those two strengths and their biggest weakness is the passing game. So if the Chargers could find a way to make it about a passing game for the Browns, I think the Chargers win this one. I think they will. I think they could find a way to make Baker Mayfield want to throw the ball, whether it be pushing up the score. Let's say Chargers go up by 20. Baker Mayfield launching it, and once Baker Mayfield launch it, they lose because that's not their strengths. Their strengths are the ground, the running game, and the defense.
My thing is, but I feel like Baker could have I feel like he could turn it on anytime along with OBJ. But it's for some reason, I guess, don't forget now, OBJ didn't play the first 2 weeks of the season. So he
Mhm.
only played the last two. And they just, like last week, I watched the game and he was throwing them, but he just was missing some time and like them deep ball. It was just little too out there. And I was like, wait, if these fellas really do connect, it can be a movie. But I wanted to be this game, but I just feel like that's secondary. People underrate the Chargers secondary. People like to make it seem all about the offense. Anytime you see a team winning, oh, it's all about the even the Rams. The Rams got a hell of a defense, or Matthew Stafford came here and make this like, bro, you have one of the greatest defensive linemen in the league. You
Right.
have
Stafford ain't even the best on
the top
right.
cornerback in the league. Like, stop making it seem like dog come there. I mean, he was the missing piece,
Yeah.
but he is not the reason why they are head and shoulders above their division right now. Same thing with this. I mean, Justin Herbert is a monster, and he is very gutsy when it comes to making certain throws and making certain
Yeah.
plays. But that defense is underrated. Joey both of them was out there giving fellas hell. That secondary, half of them fellas you can't even name. But these fellas running all over the field and they killing guys. So I just feel like Baker and OBJ at some point in the season will taunt someone. I just don't feel like it's going to be the Chargers this week.
Yeah.
But after this week, I see some favorable matchups, and I see them going. Well, next week they get the Cardinals. I don't see them touching them either. But after that, I see them get the Broncos. They got the Bengals. They got the Lions. They got. But listen, it could be tough.
They can pick up momentum after this week.
Yeah, they can pick up some.
Well, not after this week. After next week. They say they
And
play
if they-
Cardinals next week.
Yeah, they play Cardinals next week.
After next week, they can pick up momentum.
And don't be surprised if they do win this game. This is, even though this is I still going with the Chargers.
Yeah, this could be
At home. I still feel like I say, if Baker them catch one little rhythm, he come out and hit for his 5 passes, and OBJ find a weakness. One thing they like to do is pick on people who I see. Hold on, I see their Harris is out. Well, questionable. They're cornerback. If they find a matchup where OBJ could exploit, and he start clapping and say, "Boy, just give me the ball," or it could be a long day for that defense. For now, I get with the Chargers.
Yeah, I think I go with the Chargers, but like y'all say, I think it'll be a competitive game. This game about the offensive line for me. I think you got Joey Bosa on one side for the Chargers, and you got Miles Garrett on the other side. And Miles Garrett, we know type of offensive play he is. He leads the NFL in sacks. So far for the season, I think the Chargers have done a good job and sort of like their offensive line, sort of protecting Justin Herbert from a lot of pressure. Can they do that against one of the best defensive players in the NFL? We'll see. So if they can do that, I think Herbert will have a chance to show off what he can do. And then on the other side, how can Joey Bosa affect Baker Mayfield on the other side, like how he did to Derek Carr last week? How can he frustrate him? So I get the Chargers winning. It'll be a close one. It should be a competitive game, but I got the Chargers. They're showing that they can compete, and they show that when they play against the best teams in the NFL, they come to play, as we've seen against the Chiefs and as we've seen just last week against the Raiders. So I go to Chargers.
All right. Well, next game, we got one of the games of the week, I would say. We got a rookie quarterback who was now starting for y'all guy, who I told y'all last week will be holding the clipboard on the sideline. And this week, he is holding the clipboard on the sideline. Mr. Jimmy Garoppolo. I say he's holding the clipboard. Don't try to add no context to what I say. That's all I say. However he's doing it is how you doing it. But Mr. Jimmy Garoppolo will be holding the clipboard on the sideline for the San Francisco 49ers while Trey Lance gets his chance against the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Arizona Cardinals right now, I see, gee, Lord. Everybody injured. Oh, boy. On both sides, we got Garoppolo out, we got Kittle questionable, actually downgraded to doubtful. Actually, I saw a report where Kittle has been placed on IR and will be out the next 3 weeks minimum. So with a bang-up San Francisco team, I don't think it's fair that they're throwing Trey Lance in there. But at the end of the day, life ain't fair. This is a chance for him to come out and actually prove that, hey, if I could win now without Kittle, and without our offense being 100%, then when these guys come back, you know who team this is. I don't care what injury Garoppolo have. If I could win with these set of guys that you put on this field, I won't hear nothing when dog come back. On the other side, we got the Cardinals who are coming off like I even say a good game, a good month of September. Um, they're 4-0 now. Um, their cornerback is out, but he ain't really a big piece. You still got Buddha in the back there. Their running back is questionable, Chase Edmonds, but he's gonna play. I have him in fantasy. They say he's gonna play. The Cardinals also post the number one offense right now in the league.
Right.
And their defense is still top. They're number one offense, and the defense is top 10. And they're going up against San Francisco, who has injury bugs. You have a quarterback who is a rookie who just coming in. Also, I think they're playing in Arizona. Yeah, they are. So all the odds are against him. I want him to come out and actually make a game of this, but for my pick's sake, I go with the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I go with the Cardinals. I think this is a great opportunity for Trey Lance. Great opportunity. So, I mean, imagine taking on the number one team in your first real official start after having the sort of like battle with Jimmy G so far for that sport this season. It's a great opportunity. I think the 49ers should be getting Josh Norman back. So he may be able to help them somewhat. But I expect the Cardinals to win like they've been winning all season. I expect them to take advantage of this injury-prone team and they can figure out a way to get the job done. So, Cardinals.
Hey, listen, Cardinals undefeated for a reason, bro. And like you say, number one offense, top 10 defense. And I agree with you, Love. If Lance find a way to win this game, I think that's pretty much it for that.
That's it for Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
All right.
If he find a way to win this game.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, granted, no, but you know what? Granted, he is an important factor in the game. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't talking about like if they throw for like 6-7 turnovers and things. I'm talking about like if Lance is an important factor in winning this game, and it's possible because we've seen flashes of him coming in for Jimmy G and actually, playing better and making progress. Right, making some plays, and then they throw him back on the bench. So this is his first start, and if in his first start he show out and beat a 4-0 team like the Cardinals and the MVP candidate, I think that's it for Timothy. But I got the Cardinals in this one as well.
Like I told you y'all before at the beginning of the season, one thing with me with sports, I've been watching sports all my life. I never watched TV series. I never even watch anime and Dragon Ball Z like that. I watch sports. I can let you know when you see a team draft a quarterback with their third pick in the first round, Jimmy G is gone regardless. Unless Jimmy G came in this season and carried them to a Super Bowl, that was the only way that man's going to keep his job. You're not going to draft a quarterback with the third overall pick with, if you say you have a franchise quarterback and you could have gone out and get him Kyle Pitts to go along with Kittle. You could have gone out and get a top wide receiver, a top lineman, a top defensive person, someone else to fit in if you thought that Jimmy G just needed help.
Yeah.
So the thing is, if you see they pick you as number 3 getting into a franchise, you have a great opportunity. You're in a great situation. I don't care how much they pay Garoppolo. At the end of the day, like I told you at the beginning of the season, this is Garoppolo's last season in San Francisco. And this right here is one of the games that could put a nail, not even a nail, this could put a vice grip on the coffin of Jimmy G in San Francisco. Because if Dog come out, like I say, and win this game with the pieces around him, and he shows that, hey, I'm the future, and also you paying him like $20 million less than Jimmy, so that's $20 million over the summer that could go towards a good running back or towards a good linebacker or give you some safety help, then that's just common sense. So, like I say, with that being said, as much as I like the as much as I like the San Francisco 49ers, Right now, I gotta go with the Cardinals just because they're just playing amazing this season. I want Trey Lance to still be so, but I just don't see him winning this game. Garoppolo, pack your bags. Uh, I don't know where you end up. You might end up in Dolphin City next year. Then you could really shut your career down. Um, or he could end up on a team like, let's say, the Steelers. If Ben Roethlisberger retires, he could end up on the Packers because we already have seen that. You know what? Guarantee that Dan Rodgers will be back. He could end up in a better, favorable situation. So uh, it is what it is. But for now, for the foreseeable future, he's out of San Francisco. To be honest with you, unless he comes back and have a hell of a second half of the season, I don't see him keeping his job in San
Yeah,
Francisco.
I agree.
Agreed.
Uh, Before we get to the Sunday night game, which I feel is the game of the week, let's skip ahead a little to the Monday night game and we'll come back to the Sunday night game. The Monday night game right now, we got the Baltimore Ravens versus the Indianapolis Colts. Um, the Colts are coming off a win. Uh,
Which they desperately
Surprisingly,
needed.
yeah, they needed that. I saw
They
some good
desperately needed
things in that win that they had. To be honest, they actually looked like a real football team last week. The only problem is they played the Dolphins. So, with that being said, like I don't put no much too much into that because you're playing the Dolphins. So, uh, I I can't give you that credit. And now you're going up against Baltimore, who's coming off 3 wins, who is top 10 in the league now in offense. Obviously in rushing now because they have a rushing quarterback and Latavius Murray that they signed. And defensively, their defense is now starting to catch up. The first like 2 games of the season, their defense was shaky, but now the defense is now starting to catch up to the offense. So I feel like in this Monday night game, I want the Baltimore Ravens, or I think the Baltimore Ravens is going to win, but I think they're going to win more with a ground and pound game than an aerial attack.
But I actually feel as if an aerial attack is possible. I think, yeah, I think Colts are going to be focused on stopping that ground game. And if you looked at, I mean, we know Lamar Jackson can throw the rock too. So he had a 300 plus passing game last week. Wouldn't be surprised if he puts up something close to that again this week, especially if the focus is on trying to stop the run game. But I don't expect the Colts to win this one. They had a feel good win last week against the Dolphins. Congrats to you. You needed to win that one. You couldn't come back if you didn't win that one. So they're going to face a team in Baltimore that's hungry, that knows how they want to play. And I suspect this one is going to be a blow. So I got Baltimore on a blow.
I agree 100%. I think this is going to be, I don't think this game could be close. I think Baltimore wins this game by a blowout. I think, like you say, keyword hungry. I think they set out to prove something because a lot of people, even people saying by Lamar trying to do too much, given that, his team injury prone and doing too much and they're working.
And getting it done. You're doing too much and getting it done.
And they're working. So this one,
Can't fault Lamar for that.
this one of the teams, well, this one of the teams they should be. And you know what we say about teams that you should be. You will be a good team unless you be the team that you should be. So I don't see the Colts. I thought maybe they could have gained momentum after last week, but not against this team. They ain't happening.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Um, well, the game of the week is now the Sunday night game in our books. But before we get to the Sunday night game, let's like to highlight that all of the Sunday games is brought to you by the Rev Trio and the Rev Trio package. The headquarters of sports entertainment is back and added once again with the return of the NFL Sunday ticket. And of course, all Rev Trio customers will have access to this with no additional cost. With Trio, fans have the opportunity to watch every Sunday afternoon NFL game that is played on simultaneously live basis. No worry to none of y'all who can't find y'all games on ESPN, NBC, CBS, whatever them other stations is. Don't worry about them. Just know that if you can't find it there, you could find it on Rev Trio. All the games are being showed between channel 750 and 765. The best part of Trio Triple Play is that customers have it at no additional cost. Trust me, that's key. In these tough times, coming off of COVID, I mean, we still in COVID, but we're starting to bounce back right now. Thanksgiving coming up, Black Friday coming up, Christmas coming up. You need no additional cost to save that little bit of bubble. So link Rev Trio, call Rev today at 601-8992 and sign up for your triple play package.
Can't beat it. Can't beat it.
Now, this is the game of the night, the game of the day, the game of the week. Here we go. We got Sunday Night Football. A rematch of the AFC Championship last year. We got Mr. Patrick Mahomes and his Kansas City Chiefs against Mr. Josh Allen and his Buffalo Bills. Now, obviously these teams are not shown record-wise where we thought they would be at this point in the season, with Kansas City being 2-2. But what's your takes on the Sunday night game that we expect to be highly anticipated and highly viewed?
The Bills are top 2 in offense and number 1 in defense. Now, that defensive ranking is a bit skewed because, they kind of had one of the easiest schedules so far. So I don't really like to mention their defense so far as yet because the ranking is a bit skewed. But like I've always been saying, these guys come out and they trying to prove a point. And they stepping on people's necks and they ain't letting go. As shown by the 40-0 score last week. Like, they don't care if you score, they don't care if you don't score. Ain't no mercy rule. You ain't running no ball to kill no time. You trying to score as much as possible. Given that, and the Kansas City's lackluster performance on defense so far this season, for the first time this season, I have to go against the Chiefs and say the Bills taking this one.
All right. It's a tough one for me because, like you say, all signs point to the Bills being the better team currently. I think both have probably underperformed to where they want to be, but the Bills have looked more like a team from last year as of late. Kansas City still has not looked like that team we saw in the AFC Championship last year.
But remember, like I say, the Bills had one of the easiest schedules so far, and Kansas City had one of the toughest schedules.
City, yes, it's a very rough schedule. Very rough schedule. I think this one is going to be a shootout. I think this one is going to be just a good old-fashioned who can get the last play, who can make the last game-winning drive, who can make the last game-winning play. And if I feel the way that this game is going to go that way, it's hard for me to bet against Mahomes. Again, the Chiefs have not been as good as you would want them to be this season. But I think this is as motivated a game as you can come across. So I expect this to be a close one, a high-scoring shootout. But I expect the Chiefs to pull this one off.
Well, and given that this is one of the most motivated games you can come across both ways, because the Bills still, they're still angry from the championship, right? So and then too, they've been playing easy teams. So this is the toughest team that they would have had to face so far this season. So they're trying to prove to people, okay, y'all think we're only playing their teams? Let me show y'all something. So they motivated us out too.
Listen, dog, don't pick the Chiefs. Let him pick what he want to pick. And let me show you, the only reason that this might be a close game is because of the fact that they're playing in Kansas City. As much as people like to say it happens on the field, environment and crowd and all that does play a big part into games and into momentum. At the end of the day, I have Buffalo beating the Chiefs in Kansas City, but not by the margin that people would think because of their defense. I feel like at home, the Kansas City Chiefs defense will play much better because, big man, you can't get embarrassed in front of all your family, friends, loved ones, everybody, and plus on national TV. If you go there and get shredded on national TV on a Sunday night, um, there will be panic in Kansas City, and I don't think you would allow that. No problem with you getting beat, but don't go there and get shredded because you're gonna have a problem. Looking at that defense for Buffalo, this isn't the first time Buffalo shut a team up. Out of their 3 victories, and out of their 4 games, they have shut teams out twice. They had a 35-0 shutout against the Dolphins, and they had a 40-0 shutout against the Texans. Now, the thing with that is those 2 teams have high-powered offense, which we could agree on, but also those teams don't have high-powered defense. So that's why the score could have been 35-0, 40-0. So keep in mind, I'm not saying that they're going to shut the Chiefs out. The Chiefs will have multiple opportunities to score on Buffalo. The problem is you can't stop them. Stephon Diggs is still wide receiver 1 in any league. And then also Emmanuel Sanders, the name that I brought up last week. And I told you he was the X factor at that game. Emmanuel Sanders came out last week and tear guys right up. And I feel like in this game, he's going to do the same. They have nobody, literally nobody, that can cover this guy because you're giving Diggs so much attention. And I just feel like Buffalo just overpowers them in all aspects of the game. Now, keep in mind, it will be a shooter because Mahomes know that in order to keep up with Buffalo, you will have to put up minimum 30 points. And then Buffalo has to realize that even if we getting stops, even if we looking good, even if we up 20-0 at halftime, when you come out of that locker room, you better try to put up another 20 points. Because these fellas could come out in the third quarter and put up 21, 24, 27 points in 1 quarter. Mm-hmm. So make sure keep your foot on the gas, keep the pedal to the metal. But I feel like with the loss of the AFC Championship last year, where they felt like they were the better team, and it did come down to controversy in the fourth quarter. I feel like the Buffalo Bills will come into Kansas City to prove a point this season of who's the best team in the AFC so far.
All right. Well, there you have it. These are our picks.
Dalvin Cook has just been ruled out officially, by the way.
Mixon is ruling.
Oh.
Yeah, don't mind Mixon. That's a setup.
That's key. That's a big
but
loss.
But Madison wasn't too bad when he subbed in for Dalvin Cook, at least for that first week.
Well, you will see. Only one way to find out.
That's a big loss. We'll see how much it affects them. I mean, lucky to blame the Lions. So. But yeah, those are our picks. I'm feeling pretty good with my picks this week. I don't know about y'all. I think it's gonna be a good week for me. So we'll be back Tuesday to update y'all and let y'all know how we did. Once again, we want to give a big shout out to Rev and Rev Trio. We want to encourage y'all. Get started. It's almost 1 o'clock. We already talked about the Jets game that's going on right now. Get the Sunday ticket package, man. You got to
update us, man. Don't skip over that. Update us.
You got a full slate of games today. I got to speak on that. Right now, the Jets
update us.
They have closed the gap a little bit. So it's 9-20. So there's still time for a comeback.
At the start of the fourth quarter, with the Falcons having the ball now, heading into red zone. Don't forget that they can come back. Okay, I mean, I ain't saying they can't, but we'll see. Like you say, we want to shout out Rev and Rev Trio for this opportunity to come on the platform and give our Sunday picks. Like you say, we want to encourage people to get their triple play, their trio package. Make sure you catch all the games because with watching our podcast, we give you all the games, but all some are on simultaneously. You want to switch in between. You want go to the red zone and watch everybody when they're about to score and do all this good stuff. All these are offered by Rev Trio. And any other shout out to all God before we sign up? We give the people a good 90 minutes today.
Shout out Mike Strong.
Yeah, we continuously
Still
shout out
waiting.
Mike Strong.
Still waiting for him to get on the field.
Yeah, continuously shout out Mike Strong. They got to free my boy. And yeah, we hope you all enjoy. We hope you all have successful picks today. And listen, again, you know, this is the disclaimer every week. If you pick your team and win, don't come crying. That's talking about. Oh, you all say this is happening, that's happening. But if your team and win, they ain't win. Put it to them. Right? So, once again, the experts signing off. We out. Everybody enjoy your football Sunday.